So Josh, I've had tons of clients. They're all excited. They found their home. They went out and bought a car, or
Oh,
they wanted to buy furniture.
oh,
So what are your do's and don'ts of the process from beginning to the end?
sure. Yeah, great question. There's a lot of them. For starters, yeah, definitely be mindful of allowing people to pull your credit when you're getting ready to purchase a home. Those multiple credit pulls can ultimately drag your score down. You don't want to open any new debt because now all of a sudden that appears as an inquiry, and we need to explain whether or not that resulted in some sort of new debt. And now we need to recalculate all of your debt to income ratio to make sure that you still qualify. And if you went out and bought a Porsche the week before closing, the payment's probably going to be pretty significant, and then it could definitely negatively impact your ability to qualify. Money into bank accounts. As people are getting ready to purchase a home, they're shuffling money here, there, and everywhere, and we have to paper trail it, right? We have to be able to connect the dots to say the money was withdrawn from this account and it was deposited in that account in the same amounts, et cetera, with explanations. So the sooner you can get the money landed in the account that you want to use towards your down payment come the day of closing, and let that money sit and be seasoned in the account, hopefully for at least 2 months, that would certainly make our lives a lot easier. Be very mindful of your job and employment and being a good employee so that you don't get laid off or let go, because that also can negatively impact. I've had instances where someone was laid off 2-3 days before they were supposed to close to buy a house, and all of a sudden we can't do the loan because they don't have an income to qualify. I've had an instance where a customer wanted the 20% discount at Jordan's Furniture and basically purchased a couch with Jordan's Furniture's credit card. The inquiry showed up on a Monday. She was supposed to close on a Wednesday, and there was no statement available because it was such a new account to be able to show us what this balance is and what is the corresponding payment going to be to that debt. So she almost was not able to buy a house and ultimately had to pay off that credit card balance just to make sure that we could get her to closing by that Wednesday. Those are some of the biggest things to be very mindful of is, keeping your job. Don't tell your boss to go fly a kite, and just make sure that, the money is in the bank and we know where it came from and it can be properly paper trailed. Those are really some of the big ticket items.
So if grandpa shows up with 10 grand saying, here's a present, what do you do?
Yeah, you ask him to give you a check so that I can properly paper trail it. If grandpa's front and back of his canceled check shows that he wrote said gift to said grandson, that's perfectly acceptable gift fund. If it's 10 grand in cash, cash is largely impossible to paper trail. So yeah, don't sell something, don't sell an asset that you might have laying around, an old vehicle. And if you do, in order to come up with your down payment fund, make sure you have a bill of sale or some sort of proof of ownership that outlines, hey, this is what I sold and this is how much, Kelly Blue Book or one of those type appraisal type services would be able to say that item was worth, because there is that level of scrutiny as there's funny money coming into someone's bank account.
All right, I think that's good advice as well.